What is good for a man is good for a nation. It is good to live within your means. It is good to save for hard times. And it is good to stay away from talk of cheap money, from credit cards, from payday loans, and from pawnsters and hucksters and banksters and grifters. And what is bad for a man is bad for a nation. It is bad to be in debt. Being in debt means that somebody owns you. Being in debt means you are somebody else's asset, somebody else's collateral. Being in debt means that you can't save for hard times, and so when the hard times come, they're coming for you. What is good for a man is good for a nation. Our nation should live within its means. Our nation should save for hard times. Our nation should first pay its debts and then look to the future. Our nation should stay away from talk of cheap money and from pawnsters and hucksters and banksters and grifters, but it doesn't. And so our nation is desperately in debt. And our nation's debt is our debt. Each and every one of us, every man, woman, and child owes over $100,000, and every worker owes $250,000 of money to the man that has already been squandered by somebody from somewhere for some reason. And because they have enriched themselves with profligacy and false generosity, we are the world's largest debtor nation. We are the biggest beggar bar none. And because our nation is in debt, other countries own that debt, and so they own us. Because our nation is in debt, our children are their collateral. And so when desperation finally comes, it comes for them. The bells will toll for them. The mothers will weep for them. And the fathers will wring their hands for them. Because they could have done something about it, but didn't. Because their parents and grandparents sold them into bond servitude before they were born to satisfy their own rapacious greed. And so I hope that you are gratified with this gift of grift that you made in your devil's bargain. But if you want to do something about it now, then you had better know that what is good for a man is good for a nation. That is my answer. That is my answer to our economic and budgetary woes. That is my answer to the tick tock of the gaunt clock that chimes the times of our lives away. That is my answer to the unctuous usurers, to the forgers at the Federal Reserve, and to modern monetary magicians who would create money from nothing. They are all liars. They all dress up debt with pretty little words, words that mean things that they don't mean. Debt, credit, inflation, quantitative easing, and the issuance of bonds are all pretty little words designed to get you to bite the hook. Don't believe their lies. Don't believe stories about easy money. They're not true and they've never been true. They promise you crowns and scepters and endless riches, and nonetheless you find yourself beggared and buggered and butchered and bankrupt behind a back alley by banksters and bureaucrats and blowhards who will always be tempted to try to appease you and to coddle you and to soothe you to sleep with soft lies rather than wake you with the hard truth, and promise you easy money now in exchange for a hard future for your future children. Soft times are for soft men who sell their sons for luxuriant esurience. A good man does not indebt his children to feed his own need, nor should his nation. At best, debt is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. At best, debt is a tool designed to bring lasting prosperity, but more often than not, it is wielded as a weapon against you. Debt is the mechanism whereby our power and our freedom and our fortunes are transferred from us to them, from us to the shysters, the charlatans, the chicanerers, and the scalawags. So don't believe their lies. Debt is ugly. Debt is disease. Debt is destruction. Debt is death dressed up as a debutante. And debt is the rule of ruined nations. And the rules are made by whoever has the money. So why don't we keep our money and keep our rule? By doing what is good for our nation, by doing what is good for a man. We must live within our means, we must save for hard times, and we must stop them from bankrupting us for our own sake. And for our children's sake, we must stop them from bankrupting this nation.